Hey, look, somebody asked me a question. I better answer it. Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today I've got a question from Mary. Mary has been fairly prolific with the questions lately. Thanks. I appreciate it, actually. This is a really good one. Mary, and it's also controversial, so you're going to need to hear this whole thing out before you start leaving comments down below and hate mail. General Motors and Volkswagen have decided to change their focus from hybrids to fully electric vehicles. Do you feel this is the right direction to go? That's Mary's question. My answer is a little lengthy. And the reason for it is that there is a lot to explain here. So both General Motors and Volkswagen have something very in common with each other. And that is they have both failed at the hybrid electric vehicle. So neither one of them has come out with a viable and selling a vehicle that really sold that is a hybrid electric. So when we think of hybrid electrics, we usually think of like a Toyota Prius. There's also like Honda Insight. Most of the Toyota vehicles that are in a gas engine also have a hybrid version. There are lots of them. BMW has them. Ford has them. There's a lot of these electric vehicles, hybrid electric vehicles out there. But out of all the companies on the market, two that have generally just failed at hybrids have been GM and VW. There are others. Ford's another one. They haven't done well with their hybrids at all either. So more is playing into this, though. There's some politics and in terms of the way the brand is viewed, so the way the world views that particular vehicle brand, that also comes into play. Volkswagen is very desperate to shed that Dieselgate thing, the whole cheating on diesel engines to get better EPA ratings and global. It was global, so they were cheating everybody's tests. Volkswagen really wants to get back to that persona where they were almost synonymous with green. Their diesel vehicles really made them the green maker, right? That's what people thought of them 10 years ago. And not so much. They've lost that, and they want to get it back. And the fastest way to get it back, go all in on the greenest thing available. And for them, that's battery electric vehicles. So they get both skipping hybrids, which they're not good at, and they get to be as green as possible by throwing all in with electrics and making a big production out of the fact that they're doing so. Ford and General Motors, especially General Motors, they're fighting the idea that they are not young and fresh companies. So they're kind of the old fuddy-duddies, or becoming so, and they're trying very hard to fight that. They don't want that, right? That's considered a death knell in the industry for a business to be considered an old person's vehicle. Buick put a lot of effort into changing that persona. Lincoln has put a lot of effort into trying to change that persona, probably unsuccessfully. But the point is that both Ford and General Motors really need to not be seen as old. So jumping in on electrics is a great way to show off how technologically progressive you are. So with General Motors specifically, it's a very, very key component to their strategy going forward in order to keep themselves fresh. So of course they're going to do it. Flipping the coin, we can look at Toyota, who has mastered the plug-in or the hybrid vehicle. So Toyota has mastered electrification without a plug. They have done it in every vehicle imaginable, and they've done it very well with every vehicle imaginable, and they have the largest share of electrified vehicles on the market right now. So they have in terms of all the vehicles they sell that are electric versus all the electrified versions of everybody else's vehicles, Toyota sells the most. And they have no reason to jump on the battery electric or the pure electric train, at least publicly, because it's not part of their persona. If they do it badly, it will go badly for them. So they have to do it right. The easiest and smartest way for them to do it right is to keep holding on to that hybrid ownership, that fact that they are synonymous with hybrids, and wait until they've perfected the electrics, then roll them out. So that seems to be what Toyota's strategy has been. It's a very intelligent one, too. Nissan, at the same time, they have failed miserably at grabbing on to the green persona. Not because they're not green, they have the world's highest production electric vehicle on the market, the Nissan Leaf. It's been made longer and sold more copies than any other electric vehicle out there. So they should own electrics, but they don't because they didn't do the marketing. They put too much effort, I think, into trucks and not enough effort into the green marketing for the Leaf. And they could have done related EVs, even at low volume, and kept that persona, built that persona, and really made something of it. Instead, they failed that. And so it may not go well for them in the long run. I don't know. It depends on what they do moving forward. For right now, Nissan's under a lot of change. There's big upheavals in that company. And so I really expect there's going to be something big, bright, and loud very soon coming from Nissan. So we'll see what happens. So overall in the market, the shift to electrification is pretty clear. It's going to happen. The question that most of us have isn't if, it's when. I tend to believe it's going to be much longer than a lot of people who are real, I call them evangelists, right? Evangelists for electric vehicles. It's going to be much longer than those people might expect it to be. They're thinking 10 years, 5-10 years. They're thinking really, really soon. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be decades. And that's just because of how the market operates, how the electric or the overall vehicle market operates. Automotive is a long-term thing. It's not a short-term thing. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's what's going on, and that's my views, especially on Volkswagen and GM. And I threw in some Nissan and Ford and Toyota because those are kind of the bigger players. The number one selling vehicle in the U.S. right now is a Ford. The number two selling vehicle in the U.S. is a Toyota. And the number one selling hybrids are Toyotas. Number one selling, so you got to kind of look at everything. You can't just pinpoint like a couple of companies and do the whole thing from there. So that's what I got. And I know it's controversial, so if you got comments on it, put them down there and start sounding off. But if you haven't watched this whole video before you start doing that, I will call you out. All right? Okay. That's what I got. If you have a question you want me to try to answer, you can hit me up on allin.autos.com. You can comment down below. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Be sure to tag me if you do, and I'll do my best. All right? This has been Aaron, allin.autos.com. Talk to you again soon.